Happy morning to y'all. And there are a few things that I want to talk about here today. But before we do, I'm going to make sure that you guys can see and hear me. I'm actually using a little bit of a different setup here. I've got the webcam over there now. Just playing around over here. Got my little mixer over here. Coffee over here. Now we better not put it there. We might spill it. So what I wanted to do though is I wanted to today talk again for a very just a small little moment here. So this way here we can get our day off right, but we can also have something to think about today. And I want this to be that one thing for you to consider. Right now, depending on, if you're watching this live, obviously this is happening, but if you're watching this a year from now, because it'll be up on Facebook or YouTube, there's a lot of stuff going on right now, and we're making some big decisions in our life, and we're somewhat forced to make these decisions. But what I wanted to talk about today, and I wanted you to think about today, again, from this little coffee with Scott session here, and this is going to be session number 2, by the way. So we'll see how this all goes. But today, really, what I wanted to talk about was really how to create tiny habits, these small little tiny habits, which I'm actually using right now. As doing this right now, this is somewhat of a tiny habit that I'm going to start doing on a regular basis. But I want to talk about how these small little things, these little things that we don't consider big, but there's something that we can do that could make a huge difference. Huge difference. Now, you guys know, and I don't have one here handy. Look up here. So basically, you guys know I wrote a book, The Take Action Effect. Inside this book is really all about creating these small little moments, these small little action steps that lead you to to the ultimate goal. And the other thing we should probably mention is when you're trying to go after a goal, there's never really a finish line. It's just, how do I get to that point to then take me to the next point, right? We're always going to be evolving. We're always going to be, really just growing, in general. And these times that are tough, these are hard times that we're in right now. These are, I believe, these moments that are going to allow us to really reach heights that we never thought was possible. Right now, you're probably saying to yourself, man, I never thought a year ago that I'd be faced with this, right? And when you get presented with something like, coronavirus, and maybe you work for a brick and mortar, or maybe you work for a company and maybe they're doing layoffs, or maybe they're downsizing, or maybe they're just closed up shop for a while because no one can really do anything right now. You didn't think about that a year ago, but right now there's a moment happening, okay? And the more that I think about this might turn into the take action moment, little coffee talk, because right now, you might be watching this or listening to this, and you might be saying, okay, yeah, this is, I'm starting to get it. This here is a moment, and I'm going to write down this moment, and I'm going to go back and reflect on this moment, and I'm going to see how much I've grown, because we are being forced to grow if we look at it that way. All right. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. What I wanted to do here, though, too, is I wanted to just make sure that if you guys have any questions or you want me to address something, and this doesn't have to be business related, although a lot of times it does tie to business if you've been following me. But what I want you to do is I want you to think about yourself, your own situation right now. Okay. Is this a moment that is going to change your life for the better or for the worse? Now, before you say, Scott, it's going to be for the worse because I never expected this to happen, and now all of a sudden my life is, come crumbling down, right? I want you to think about what this is forcing you to do. What is this forcing you to create? All right. Do me a favor, okay? Whether you're watching this live or you're watching this after the fact, I want you to put in the comments, what is that one thing that this is more or less making you or forcing you have to do? Okay. What is it making you do or forcing you to do? Okay. Now, let's talk about habits real quick, because I believe now that we have time, our not even time, we have our routine has been just, it's been just kind of dispersed in all different areas that we never would have thought that our routine would have just been scattered so much, right? Like normally, kids are back in school. So now you're like, okay, we get up, get the kids ready for school. And then from there, we get them off to school. And then we go to work, or we go to our office, or we do whatever. And then your day begins. And then the kids get home from school. And then you got to, take them to volleyball or baseball or, piano, whatever. You have all these different things. That's the normal routine. Right now, that routine is gone, right? Like it's changed, right? It's changed right now. So what I want you to do though is I want you to take advantage of this change. And what I mean by that is think about right now, something small that you can do right now, okay? Or take that one thing every single day and make that a new habit, all right? And I've been reading this book by BJ Fogg, PhD, and the title of the book is Tiny Habits, but it's The Small Changes That Change Everything right here. Okay. So a little shout out to BJ Fogg. All right. Great little book. I'm actually about halfway through it. Love this right here too in the book. You get this little marker, and that marker says this book will change your life. Tiny habits. Right. So I'm going to give you an example of how this is working for me right now. And he talks a lot about like these different small changes that we can make, that we can pretty much add to our life right now without really disrupting our life. So I'll give you an example. So I've been on and off working out for health reasons, just because I want to be healthier. It's better for your health, but it's also, muscle is always better to have than not, and all of this stuff. And you just feel better, right? But it's always been hard to be able to kind of stick to it, to commit to that, right? We all have kind of fallen out of the routine, right? And just things get in the way. Maybe it's an injury and you can't, work out, whatever. But so I was saying to myself, I'm like, man, why can't I get back into it? Like I'll get back into it for 2 or 3 days and then I stop. I get back into it for 2-3 days, then I stop. Then I get injured. I got injured last year from doing push-ups. I was doing 100 push-ups a day, and I was going to do that for 100 days straight. It was a little challenge I was giving myself. And I think I was on the 56th day, something like that. And I got to about my, 60th one, and I pulled something in the back of my neck. And that took me out of the loop for probably about a week and a half. And then I was afraid to do push-ups anymore for a while because I didn't want that to happen again. It literally, it brought me to my knees and I couldn't even stand up. It's just something, it got tweaked in my lower or my upper back, but in that shoulder area. And so anyway, it took me off the routine, right? And then I didn't really work out as much and I didn't do my push-ups anymore. And so I got out of the routine. So I asked myself, how can I start putting something in my life that will allow me to exercise on a regular basis? Okay. Now this goes hand in hand with anything. If you're trying to create content for your website, if you're trying to, create a new product line, whatever it is, there's a lot of things that we need to do when we're trying to accomplish that. And then it seems overwhelming. So we don't do it. So for me, going to my garage gym and spending 30-40 minutes, it's kind of like, I got 30-40 minutes, right? Okay, I'm going to pencil that in. I'm going to do it. And then all of a sudden something comes up, you don't do it, right? And I've done it where I've scheduled it, where I've done it pretty regularly, but things get in the way. So I said, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to create a tiny habit that allows me to work out, but here's how long. Only for, maybe 3 minutes. And the way that this works, let me just explain, is very, very simply, okay? I have a cup of coffee every day, okay? I actually have about 2. My first cup is, when my daughter was in school, it was take her to school, come back, brew my coffee, sit down. That's when my work would start, right around 8:30. And so what I decided to do, because now she's home and everything, I'm like, you know what? On my second cup of coffee, which is around 10 o'clock, something like that, when that coffee is brewing, okay, I'm going to go out in the garage and I'm going to do, maybe that day it's, maybe I'm going to start working on chest that day. It's chest and try day, let's call it, because that's how I used to work out, right? Like it was like I would do chest and try, back and by, do these different things. So anyway, so that's kind of how it would work. And so, man, that brightness is getting a little bit there, but let's just roll with it, I guess. The sun is coming in and out. So what I did was I would go out and I would do, I would do a set of bench. So I have my dumbbells there. They're already there. My bench is there. It's already there. I'd walk out, I'd stretch a little bit, get my arms a little loose, maybe for like 30 seconds. And then I would sit down or lay down and I would do some bench press. And I would do that for, 12 or 15 reps. And then before I was done with, or after I got done with that, I would go and do some pull downs, okay, on my pull down machine. It's all right there. And then from there, come in the house. And when I make my coffee, I do it in 2 phases because I use the K cup. So the first K cup brings me to about right there. And then the second one brings me up to there. And I do bulletproof coffee. So I put butter in my coffee and all that stuff. So it's a little bit of a process. Takes probably about 5 to 7 minutes, maybe 8 minutes. So that first one brings me up to there. Well, guess what? I got to walk back in the house, put another K cup in, put it down, slide it under, hit go. And then I go back out to the garage and I do another set of bench press, another set of triceps. And then from there, go back in the house. And then guess what? I got to take my coffee, put it in the blender, put my butter in there. That's what I do. MCT oil, put it in there, hit the old, power button, go back out to the garage. I do another set, and I'm back in the house. Now, I just did a complete circuit, okay, of chest and triceps, okay, which I wouldn't have done because, well, I got to take 30, 40 minutes out of my day. I say I want to do it, but am I really going to do it? So that forces me to at least do that for the day. So now for, the past 2 weeks that I've kind of been doing this tiny habit thing, I've been doing that every day. Now, not every day is chest and try. Tomorrow might be, maybe it's back and biceps. So I'll do some pull downs on the pull down machine, then I'll do some curls, and that's it, right? Now, if I want to install another tiny habit to do another, like another exercise, that might be at a different time of the day now. But what I need is, and this is what he talks about in that book, we need an anchor. Okay. And that anchor is really something that then triggers and reminds me to do the thing, right? So if you were, and he uses the example about flossing your teeth, right? So he's like, if I was going to say, okay, I want to floss my teeth, but I always forget, but I brush my teeth every day. So when I brush my teeth, I just have to remember to floss my teeth, right? So it's kind of like a trigger, right? It's an anchor. So what he did, and this is funny, what he did for his exercise thing, every time he would go and take a pee, he'd go to the bathroom, number one. After he got done, he would go down he would get down on the floor after he cleaned up and stuff, of course. And he would do, I think he would do like 2 push-ups, and that was it. Just 2 push-ups, right? And so if he went multiple times a day, which we all do, depending on how much you're drinking water and fluids and stuff, he would do 2 push-ups every time he went to the bathroom. So maybe he went 5 times that day, he got 10 push-ups done. Okay. I like to do a little bit more. I would do at least 10. But you get the idea, right? The trigger point, the anchor point was the actual pee, right? Or for me, it's the coffee, right? So now what else do I do during the day that I could do this, right? Well, I had one. Actually, I started to do this morning. So it was another idea. I said, okay, before I jump in the shower, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 15 push-ups, but I'm going to do those push-ups basically leaning. So if I'm on the counter, the sink area, I'm just going to go ahead after, and again, I go and do my walk and everything, and I do all that stuff. So this is after my walk. I come in, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to brush my teeth. I'm going to we got the dogs running now. We're going to go ahead and brush the teeth. Well, actually, I already brushed the teeth. So we're going to come in, we're going to shave. Okay. So after that, we're going to go ahead and say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do 15. So after I shave, That's the anchor, 15 push-ups on the counter. So, or against the counter. So they're kind of like somewhat like a, I don't know, probably like a 22-degree angle, right? So we go ahead and we do those. So now every day, regardless, I'm going to, after I shave every day, right? The trigger point is shave, push-ups on the counter, right? And then take the shower. So now I just installed that into my day. So why am I sharing this with you? Because a lot of times, and right now, especially, our routine has been changed, right? Now's a great time to start installing some of these into your life, whether that's exercise, whether that's taking a walk, because again, stress is a silent killer. I think we all know that, right? So before you can be productive in your business, before you can be productive in anything, I believe that you need to have the right mindset, the right mental clarity. And right now, because things are changing, our routines are mixed up. Our future, we don't know, right? Like all of that stuff is weighing on all of us. So what we need to do is we need to start creating some of these tiny habits. Now, you could take that same formula and say, all right, I've been putting off writing content for my website, or shooting those videos. Okay. So what I'm going to do today is when I do this one thing, right? So when I get done, I don't know, something that you do every day. After you get done reading your email, right, and going into your email, that's a trigger point that now you have to go and basically start writing or finish writing or write the entire post that you're going to do for your website. Or maybe that's the time that you're going to do keyword research for your next blog article or your next YouTube video or whatever. So what I'm saying here is if you install something like that from an anchor into that next thing, it's going to allow you to show up every single day working towards the end goal in mind, okay? Or that next target, right? I look at goals as targets, not necessarily as the end, okay? So anyway, that is my thoughts here for today that I wanted to share with you. The tiny habits, I am following this and I love it. It's brilliant. And yes, already today, this is my second cup. So yes, we've already did a little bit of exercise, and I'm going to create another one. So I'm going to create basically another one of these a little bit later in the day. So that way I get another part of that exercise routine. And here's the deal. After you find, like me personally, find 3 of these different ones, now I'm going to have a full workout in pretty much, right? So the other thing is it's more than I was doing, because a lot of people say, well, what's 2 push-ups going to do, right? What is one set of tricep pull downs going to do? Well, let me tell you something. If you do that every day versus once in a while, you'll get results, right? And if you are trying to write a blog post and every day you work towards completing that blog post, and at the end of the week it's done and it's published, now you've accomplished it, right? So it might be, what is that target for you? Maybe let's just use the example of you want to write a new blog post every single week. And the day it's going to go live is Sunday afternoon, right? So that means on Monday, you need to do something to work towards getting that completed. And then Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. And it could just be like, I'm going to write 300 words today. Well, let's see here. Okay. 300 words, 7 days, 2,100 words, right? Do some quick math there. Okay. That's a pretty good sized blog post. And it's only 300 words a day. Okay. You're writing emails probably right now to friends and family that are longer than 300 words. Okay. So small little things add up to big things. And we need to start installing these into our life, especially now, because right now we need structure. We need stuff to strive towards. And we also need mental clarity and really de-stressing in a time of crisis like this. All right. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. This is your take action moment. And right now is the time for you to get crystal clear on what you want and what you are going to do, and then break it down, chunk it down, and develop your own little tiny habits that can allow you to do that. All right. So guys, do me a favor. If you have any questions on this or any, I'm looking at some questions here that you guys are posting. Well, we got some questions here. Let's see here. Wow, we got a lot of you guys chiming in here. What's up, Graham? Jamie, what's up? Says it's lagging a little bit. Hopefully it's fixed now. Okay, Aaron says this is forcing me on creating more lead magnets to build my email list even bigger and greater. That is awesome, by the way. So great job on that. And yes, it right now will force you to actually get some work done. But instead of just thinking about it, we got to do it. We got to take action, right? And let that be, a small little thing that will build upon itself. So I do love that. Great job. Good morning. Okay, cool. Neaton. Good morning, Scott. Definitely forcing me to become more grateful for the tiny things that I used to take for granted. Yes. And that is a big one. That is a big one. Taking those things for granted, those small things that we took for granted. I mean, the simple things, even things like that we don't think that are a big deal are big deals to a lot of people, and they should be to us. We should give ourselves credit. Just like being able to have this coffee right now. And I know it's kind of being silly and kind of funny, but it's true. I get to choose the type of coffee that I want to have. We're spoiled in a sense, but I'm very grateful that I'm able to have that. I'm grateful that I have this right arm right now that's allowing me to pick it up and put it to my mouth. All right. So grateful. Let's be grateful together. Let's see here. Let's see. Okay. Aaron says, I'm in the survival and prep niche, so this change is on the good side for me. Yeah. And I think it's on the good side for a lot of people because depending on how you think of this or what angle, I think it can benefit all of us just because it's forcing us to change. Good morning to you, Lydia. How are you? Let's see here. We got Eddie. What I was doing for a while was listening to your podcast in the morning while I used to elliptical machine at the gym. Worked well. Now during quarantine, I just do it skipping in the morning. Okay. Whatever works. Skipping while listening. Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. You're not going to the gym because you can't go to the gym right now. We're in quarantine. Thanks for stopping by too, Eddie. Appreciate you. Let's see. Yeah, low intensity cardio. What's up? Power washing? I got power washing, but good morning, man. How you doing? Looks like a YouTube. Cool. Let's see here. Michal, good habits lead to success. I love that. Okay. This is a good one. So, how do we write if we're not good at writing? It's a great question. I'm not a good writer either. And this here, okay, this book here, okay, which is I forget how many words, but it's about 107 pages. That there was all written from audio. Okay, so I record audio and then I have it transcribed. And then after I transcribe it, I edit it. It's a lot easier for me to do that. This book right here, very similar. I actually hired a coach to help me with this, but a lot of this was interviews. Then we took those and we put them into, and I mean interviews, like someone interviewing me. And then from there, we went ahead and we did the editing and we did the, the writing portion of it. I'm much better at writing or fixing writing or elaborating after it's on paper, but looking at a blank sheet of paper is hard. So that's what I would recommend. There's a lot of text-based apps out there, even your ones that are on Mac or even PC. They will allow you to speak and then it will transcribe it on the fly. Yeah, here, Chris Schaefer in the house. What's up, Chris? I didn't realize Chris was going to be hopping on. Monday, topic research. Tuesday, outline the post. Wednesday, write section 1. Thursday, write section 2. Friday, write section 3. Saturday, edit. Sunday, post. There you go. Love it. Good stuff, Scott. Keep them coming. No problem, Daryl. Thanks for stopping by. And Chris also threw in there Google Docs text to speech. Free service, guys. Give it a shot. All right, so that's going to wrap it up for this take action moment this morning. But really, I want to do more of these and I'm going to be showing up. So let your friends know, let your family know. This isn't just about business. This is going to be how do we get out of our own way? How do we show up every single day and take action on little tiny things and create these little tiny habits that will set us up for success. That is really what we're talking about here. And, it's funny. I was talking to my wife this morning. I wasn't sure what to call this. I want to turn this into something that I do on a regular basis, even after the fact, even after we're all done with this quarantine and we're all done with the coronavirus. And we got thinking, like, what would make a good name? And I think, I'm kind of known for the take action stuff. So I talk a lot about the take action moments in this book. And what they are is like moments in our life that make the change. And then they have a ripple effect. So I thought it made sense to call this, which I'm going to have to update the slide that I show people when I'm getting ready to go live. But I think it's Take Action Minute. I think that's what we're going to go with. And I got a little, let me share this with you, and then we're going to wrap up, guys. Something like this. So it's going to be the Take Action moment, where we're going to actually sit down, have a cup of coffee. And for this moment, we're going to go over one action step that you can do. And in this case, it is creating a tiny habit right now in your life. Small, doesn't have to be big. Find the anchor. And then from there, bolt on something that is easy to do, not hard to do. And I'm going to be going back to that book quite a bit because there's a lot of other things I want to address in there. But this is what I'm thinking, guys. This is what I want this little coffee with Scott, this session or these sessions to be about. It's about that take action moment for right now, and that will help us in the future. But this is what I'm thinking. This is going to be your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and simple action steps that will create change in your life. What do you think of that? You like that? You like the way that rings? Your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and simple action steps that will create change in your life. How's that sound? Do you like that? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. And let me know, do you think that the Take Action moment for this Coffee with Scott sounds like a good name? Let me know. I'd be curious to know what you guys think. And Eddie already gave me a 2 thumbs up. Thank you, brother. And so if you guys can do that, share this with people that you think will get valuable, or that would find it valuable. I still need, I guess, that second cup of coffee. And then from there, we can go ahead and we can hang out, have the coffee, and really get that one action step underway and installed in your life. So this way here, you can really succeed in any part of your life. All right. And I think right now it's more important than ever. All right, guys, so that is it. That is going to wrap up this little Coffee with Scott, the Take Action moment. And until tomorrow, 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern time, I'll be back here right with you. And in the meantime, get out there, make it happen, install one of those Take Action, those little trigger points, and get to work. All right, we'll see you. See you tomorrow. Bye.